So it seems that we are going to Kalos as the counter pick. Kalos for sure a polarizing stage, as the blast zones are a lot larger than literally any other legal stage we have, and of course the stage layout is very unique too, as it has a lot of open air.
Yeah, I mean, those side platforms as well, that can be a boon for either one of these two players depending on how this match starts off. I think that getting a lead at the beginning of this game is going to be very important, and percentage lead is one thing, the stock lead is another thing entirely, and D3 Will immediately putting on a clean 34 with just a couple flicks of the buttons. We're going to have to see who gets out to that first stock, because this is either going to start being a game of Deedee cannot be approached on those side platforms, or Hero gets to farm for spells.
This is real, and there goes this level 2 swoosh there, and that's like a actually underrated option for Hero. A very fast out of shield option and a good lingering hitbox you can leave at ledge, like Beastmodepaul did right there.
Still though, D3 Will racking on plenty of damage, showing that he doesn't even need the Gordo. In fact, I got other special moves for you right here with that Jet Hammer, chasing Beastmodepaul all the way up into the skies and taking out that first stock.
Yeah, the Jet Hammer is always such such a slept-on move, as like just one jump read and your stock is gone at 80. Even on a big stage like Kalos, you always have to be careful of these ledge traps. The Beastmodepaul gets the lights red out of him, as D3 Will, just a second of hesitation is all he needs.
That Jet Hammer can be a little bit scary to play around. Beastmodepaul does clean up that stock, but the reason that he lost that last one the way that he did is because the last time D3 Will charged up a big Jet Hammer at the ledge, Beastmodepaul did the same thing. He spot dodged, and then he waited to see what would happen afterwards if he had the end lag to punish, but that time D3 Will ate it alive, and he's about to do that quite literally to Beastmodepaul. Yeah,
it is so funny because Beastmodepaul had the bounce, so D3 Will was like, okay, I'll just crank out the other special move to ledge trap you here. But Beastmodepaul trying to rack up some offense, get something, a little gimmicky with that up smash, one of the highest quick crit multipliers on any of Hero's smash attacks. Just trying to find something.
Accelerado coming out right now. Great anti-air, air-to-airing right there from D3 Will, right? Again, knowing that, okay, Hero can be in many places very quickly with that Accelerado, but that also means that if I throw out that Nair, I'm just extra likely to cover a spot that he's in.
This is real, and with the Psych Up on deck, you can see Beastmodepaul kind of fishing, utilizing the spells, though, where he doesn't want to waste a Psych Up here, but D3 Will going to use that to his advantage.
Ooh, I love that wait from D3 Will. Again, we've seen that air dodge in a couple times from Beastmodepaul, and he's clearly trying to pick up on those habits, but wasn't able to react in time to that recovery around the Gordo. So again, Beastmodepaul getting to play with the lead and just the up throw. We do have a game here, Big M.
Yes, I love that parry punish, and we're going to get right into it. Beastmodepaul sitting at a high percent, but standing on Kalos, as long as you don't get hit by any of DDD's super chunky hits, like that back air, which will send us to game 2. We're all evened up, Kimona, and I think we have a set.
Yeah, I love going into Game 3 with it tied up 1-1, because that shows me right off the bat that even if we go to Game 5, this isn't just going to be one of those sets where you're kind of sitting there, hand in your face, and just going, well, I know this is going to go to a Game 5. These guys are going to flounder somewhere or other, and we just have to kind of wait for it to get to that point. No, these two are fighting back and forth. We've seen some great adaptations, and it's especially on the adaptations that has made things work for D3 Will. There's so much conditioning you can do with King Deedee, and it is your goal to find out how your opponent is reacting to that so you can land, like you said, those chunky hits.
Yes, indeed. And here we are on Town and City, a very in line with the stages that we've been going to, where there's a lot of stage real estate, except we have a lot more platforms, only some of the times, though. Town and City, one of the few stages on our stage list where the platforms actually move in and out on a certain interval, giving us different layouts throughout the match.
And always at the same interval as well, right? So if you're keeping an eye on the timer, you can get really creative, not only with your recoveries, but your combos as well. See right there, 30 seconds past, so those platforms are going out, and we're onto a flat stage. And we saw D3 Will doing really well on a relatively flat stage back on Kalos, and the stage is only about to get even more Kalos-like. So here comes D3 Will on a bit of a charge to make this comeback happen after Beastmodepaul got off to a big start, and he says, I'm not even engaging with that. I'm not going near you. I do not want to touch it. You can continue to do all that damage to yourself. I want nothing to do with it. You can charge it. I am not going to be around. He lets the forward smash rip to boot.
Yeah, almost for a full 15 seconds there, the Jet Hammer was on line. Beastmodepaul says, I'm not going over it because the hitbox is deceptively large, but able to continue with the skin of his teeth. D3 will imposing fear, but Beastmodepaul able to sustain the storm for now.
Ooh,
Oh.
that was such a great reaction there by D3 Will, seeing that hover over the Flame Slash along with the Psych Up. Knew that's exactly what Beastmodepaul was looking for, but it whiffed. So Beastmodepaul does get to hold on to that Psych Up after barely surviving the counter hit. That Psych Up now gone. Tons of shield pressure with that back air. Wanted to get up close to just let that Kafrizzle rip because that would have ripped through the shield, taken that stock, but instead, Gordo coming in clutch, and D3 Will does get the first stock on the board.
Yeah, I mean, the Gordo, sometimes it can be your greatest friend or your worst enemy. As you see there, the Sizzle, once again, utilizing the Gordo to hit D3 Will, but D3 Will not frazzled at all. In advantage here, trying to keep Beastmodepaul in that corner with that command grab-like suction move. There goes the double forward air and the Jet Hammer to almost seal it there, but not close enough. D3 Will, though, will take that and the swoosh there, able to send back the Gordo. But, man, D3 Will is bringing on the pressure.
Really, really key right there for Beastmodepaul to get that bounce up too on that recovery, because now you don't even have to contest with any sort of ledge trapping with Gordo. Makes things so much more one-dimensional for Deedee, but it's a lot more fighting back that we do need to see from Beastmodepaul right here. Down more or less a full stock, right? I mean, at 108, that stock can go away pretty quickly, and so it does. The back hit of that up smash, D3 Will does now have a proper full stock lead to play with.
Yeah, you can tell that both of these players are getting a lot more comfortable in their flow and their flow charts. As you saw that game one, a lot of the kills came from super safe up tilts and stuff like that. And now we're just going haymakers, full gas, no brakes, as we're getting like up smashes and big reads coming out from both players.
Oh,
wow.
He actually just countered the Flame Slash. Jet Hammer's back out again.
Yikes.
Reaction, turnaround. That's a clean 53. Beastmodepaul hates it.
Yeah, I mean, that will get you up and out of your seat, whether you're getting hit by it or hitting it. D3 Will looks so composed, though, just ready. Is like, I'm going to hit the next one, too, so you better get ready.
All right, we're back at the ledge. There indeed is that Jet Hammer. And honestly, yeah, you just take that Gordo for free. Got that Accelerado, so you've got plenty of options to get back. But once again, the Jet Hammer connects. That move, Big M, is high-key good. And I would like to tell you all a little story about a man named Jake D. Snake.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you've ever been to Texas, he's actually moving back here pretty soon, so we all get to feel the terror again. We can take a look at some of these replays as I reminisce about one of my own region's players. Jake D. Snake is a phenomenal production man. He is behind the streams down in Texas every now and then, and this is what he specializes in. Nobody is safe. He has hit half of the initial PGR with Jet Hammers at the ledge and killed them, because that is just what he does. And Beastmodepaul says, you know what? I've had enough of all that. I want a character that's never going to get hit by Jet Hammer again. We're switching to the Sephiroth.
Yeah, tell me you want to interact less without telling me you want to interact less here. We're pulling out the big Masamune to kind of just keep D3 Will at a very big range away. And you can see Beastmodepaul already has the game plan, as 7 back airs have come out in rapid succession.
I mean, both of these players, right, they're going to be using those back airs, those forward airs pretty liberally, right? They want to be able to control the neutral a little bit, but now the range advantage no longer goes to D3 Will, right? As long as they're playing at that mid-range, there's no longer a discomfort for Beastmodepaul trying to play guessing games between, do I have time to, pull out my spell book, find something useful for me, or do I need to kind of go on the offensive and attack or be patient? No, now you just get to control the game as Sephiroth. That's why that damage is already built up. Now, things don't get insanely easier at the ledge. It is a little bit easier, but you have to remember that Deedee does have armor on that Jet Hammer swing.
Indeed. I mean, but, Beastmodepaul has a couple more options to utilize, as, you can always skewer the stage to give you a little bit more time. But at the end of the day, Sephiroth is light as a twig as the giant back air from D3 Will comes out.
Beastmodepaul said, I've had enough of you.
Yeah.
Off the top blast zone you go. I mean, that's one of those moments where you win neutral for an entire minute straight, and then you realize, oh, I'm Sephiroth, I'm lighter than Pikachu for some reason, and I die off the side at 60. Okay, cool.
Yeah, unfortunate for Beastmodepaul, but he did get the immediate equalizer, so things are all well and dandy, as we're starting to do it again, where Beastmodepaul is just utilizing these giant aerials to keep D3 Will at an uncomfortable space.
He's also not too uncomfortable playing that up-close game. Great use of these nairs, even hitting that Gordo back along with that forward air just to get that extra damage to boot. I think that's quite a few jumps gone from D3 Will. Not able to get the two-frame the second time with that forward tilt. Does hit right below that ledge, but not able to snipe away the Deedee. So D3 Will gets another lease on life.
Yeah, and I feel like Beastmodepaul there just wanted to kind of relegate back to the ledge trap instead of trying to, capitalize on something like, lower jumps gone from D3 Will, as things only get dicier when you give stage presence to D3 Will.
I'm starting to understand maybe how this guy beat Budace, because I think that Jet Hammer is kind of the key to victory here. I mean, he has hit it so many times and he has come so perilously close so many times, but got to be on stage to use that utility. There is that back air from Beastmodepaul to take D3 Will down to his last stock. We might be staring down the barrel of a Game 5 right now.
Yeah, this counter pick has worked perfectly for Beastmodepaul. I mean, it makes sense. It was kind of the simplest counter pick, and sometimes those are the greatest answers.
All right, going back to the ledge, though, right now. D3 Will taking center stage. Not really able to control the game with these Gordos. Beastmodepaul has had a pretty good answer to them overall. A little bit of the movement getting predicted right there from D3 Will. I love the mix-ups on the landings, but this is starting to get scary.
Yeah, I mean, now that Beastmodepaul has that wing, can match Deedee in jumps, as that third jump gives Sephiroth a lot more maneuverability, but D3 Will just seems to be on the back foot as the increased speed, increased damage from the one wing power-up has really put the pressure on even more so.
Well, yeah, now you get that additional movement as well. You see him just trying to space out these back airs. There's a couple of them connecting on the shield, and once you start doing that, that Deedee is going to be excessively easy to shield poke, and Beastmodepaul not shy to look for him. The Deedee at 114, and like you mentioned, with that one wing out, things may be ending shortly if Beastmodepaul can find that one connector, trying to read that jump with the up air, but instead will have to settle for a back air to reset that stage position.
Yes, and here goes the ledge trap. This could be the final interaction of the game, but yeah, there goes the back air on an over-aggressive D3 Will, trying to take that center stage, but, you just kind of keep swinging that Masamune in that direction, and you will come up slicing some Deedee.
Remember, we are here in top 64 as well, so as we go into Game 5, this is pretty decisive to get into that winner's side top 32, because this is the point where you start realizing, oh, if I go into losers, every single player I'm going to have to play has the potential to take me out. Because in Ultimate, once you start getting to the people that can make it this far in bracket, make it out of pools at a big tournament like Gateway Legends, you know that you are in to be fighting some threats.
Oh, this is all true, but we're going right back to Kalos, so we're going to have, for sure, a crazy barn burner of a Game 5 here. And I've been liking this Sephiroth pick from Beastmodepaul. Sometimes, simplifying the game state is much better, keeping D3 Will at that certain burst range. And then when he comes in, Beastmodepaul has been acting accordingly and been able to scrap up close, too.
I mean, not to give into the confirmation bias of what we've seen, but I think that just in theory, Hero versus Deedee doesn't feel like the best matchup, because you're talking about a character that thrives on controlling areas of the stage and stopping you from being able to do what you want. And Hero needs to abide by a very particular game plan, which is create time to pull out that menu. But Deedee is all about putting a timer on you, right? Starting up a clock and saying, you've got to react to what I do. But with Sephiroth, Beastmodepaul looks like he's just so much more comfortable with the pace of the game. You saw that back air had the glancing blow on Deedee, what we used to call the phantom hit, and that's really unfortunate. That changed a big path of the way of the game.
Yeah, and Aaron's Cantilla there from Beastmodepaul as went for the down B, and the counter kind of just whiffed completely, and now you're in this very perilous situation as the Jet Hammer comes out and doesn't get the air dodge read this time. Beastmodepaul very happy for that, as now the situation's reversed.
I am amazed that Beastmodepaul continues to go for those air dodges in those situations too, right? Because now that he's switched to Sephiroth, I feel like he, has more opportunities to maneuver around that Jet Hammer in different ways, but still finding ways to make it work. And I think that sticking to your guns can work as intended sometimes. You see right here, getting that stage control back via that Gordo. Like you said, it can be your devil or your angle. And right now, trying to find these angles to send the Deedee into the blast zone. Both players sitting at perilous percents, but of course, if the percents are matching, Sephiroth is probably not in the better position. That Gordo even saving D3 Will that time.
Yeah, we're really seeing all sides of Gordo so far. I mean, and what's crazy is that when you drop Hero and don't have bounce anymore, you have to interact with Gordo a lot more. But Sephiroth for sure has the tools to deal with Gordo and Deedee all at the same swing, but gave you a three-piece there with that up tilt, finishing off. And we're here at 2 stock. Welcome to 2 stock, everybody, as this game 5 is going down to the wire.
That stock was so funny to me. That was like O.J. Simpson at the beginning of The Naked Gun, where he's trying to get onto the ship and then he just like falls over like a paint can, hits his head on the door, falls off the boat. It's just that whole sequence, you know, reminiscing of those old movies. But Beastmodepaul has got to fight his way back. Hopefully better in this case here on Kalos. Again, the Sephiroth counter pick looking like it's working out for him compared to the heroes. Still running this very even with D3 Will. Even got him off stage. And again, like you mentioned, Big M, things start to change when you've got that one wing.
Oh, man. And just 2 back airs put on so much percent there. And then the forward air to kind of poke it and finish it off there. I mean, the Deedee's just getting poked and prodded by the long Masamune. D3 Will has been trying to get, you know, his whenever he gets the advantage, he's trying to capitalize as much as possible, but Beastmodepaul has just been playing this really well. Yeah,
he is in the zone right now, definitely looking comfortable, done so many good jobs, so many different ways of just shutting down that DDD disadvantage, noting when he's got a great time to strike. It's really paying off right here. D3 Will is down to his final stock of winner's bracket potentially, unless he can bring this one back. But the way that Beastmodepaul is playing, I don't know, man. It looks like he's in control of this whole game with the Sephiroth.
Yeah, and these up airs are starting to come out now, and there's the dash attack on landing. Beastmodepaul has the ledge trap. This could be it.
Stuck at the ledge. There's that back air on shield. There is no more wing, so as D3 Will, you do get to breathe a little sigh of relief, but I don't know if it'll last that long. Back air is not going to hit either. Looks like Beastmodepaul starting to get a read on some of these timings as well.
Yes, and that's the scariest scenario where you're falling at the same time as Sephiroth, especially if he's got you at range. You know those aerials are going to come out and send you to the blast zone with quick haste. But a Gordo hit gets D3 Will the advantage he has been looking for. Will he be able to close out the stock here? The Gordo ledge trap doesn't quite work.
Love the patience from D3 Will, taking it down to final stock here. One of these players has got to go to loser's bracket. One of these players will get to move on in winners. That privilege goes to whoever can take this next stock. And Beastmodepaul slowed down a little bit there at the end of that second stock, but now that he's on his last one, back on his horse, getting aggressive here and putting that pressure on D3 Will in the corner.
Yes, indeed, and things are winding down here, but you saw there, if D3 Will can kind of maintain stage presence, you know, going in center stage, it's going to be a little bit harder for Beastmodepaul to kill him from center stage with something like that dash attack. But now that the percent is racking up, it's only more likely that he gets sent to the top corner, and Paul closes it out in a game 5 against D3 Will.
That counter pick worked out so well